Right guys, good to see you. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about something rather interesting, and that is, can you start a business with a friend? This is important because there are certain individuals who would like to start their own business, but they also want to do it in collaboration with somebody else, someone they know well, like a friend or a best friend. So can you start a business with a friend? That's what we'll be talking about in today's video. So let's dive straight into it. So can you start a business with a friend? Well, the short answer is yes, you certainly can. Okay? As far as I know, at least here in the UK, there are no laws or rules that prohibit you from starting a business with another person, even a friend. However, if you choose to start a business with your friend, there are certain problems or potential problems that you need to be aware of in advance. So that's what I'll be talking about. And if you're someone who's thinking of going down this route or starting a business with a friend, you might want to watch this video right until the very end, okay? So make sure that you keep watching right until the end. So the first problem in starting a business with a friend is the fact that both of you are just friends. Okay? Two of you are just friends. And your relationship up to this point has been based on mutual friendship. And you are used to treating each other as casual friends. However, this business that you're about to build is a professional affair. Okay? This business is a professional affair. And it has to be handled in a professional way. So ideally, the two of you need to sit down and discuss. Okay? You need to agree that this business we're building is professional. We might have been friends all along, but we're going to handle the business in a professional way. That involves the day-to-day running of the business, filing taxes, dealing with paperwork, splitting profits, and basically everything else involved in running a business. Okay? So you have to make that switch from treating each other as casual friends to now being professional business partners. Okay, and you're going to conduct yourselves in a professional way, and you're going to hold each other accountable and make sure that you are working to the highest standard. You're not going to allow things to just slide under the carpet because he's your friend. No, you're going to handle this in a professional way and deal with any conflicts in a professional way. All right, so that's the first challenge in starting a business with a friend. Making that switch from treating each other as casual friends to now treating each other as business partners. For some people, it might be straightforward. For others, it might be more difficult. Now, the second problem in starting a business with a friend is, you see, if you're going to start a business with your friend, you have to be really honest. Okay? You have to be really honest with yourself about who that person is. If your friend has a history of being disloyal, unfaithful, betraying others, or lying to other people, that's going to be a problem. Okay? If you go to do business with them, it could come back to bite you in the butt. So I'll give you an example. Okay? Imagine Alice has a best friend called Rachel. Okay? So Alice and Rachel have been close friends ever since the early 20s, and now they are in their late 30s. Okay, so they've known each other for well over 10 years, and the two of them are best friends, Alice and Rachel. Now, let's imagine that Rachel is currently having an affair, and she's cheating on her long-term partner or her husband. Okay? So Rachel is cheating on her husband. But not only that, Alice is fully aware of it. She knows that this has been going on for nearly 9 months, and she's been helping to keep things secret. Okay? She's helping to keep things under wraps. Now, at the time of Rachel doing this, nothing seems to be going wrong, right? Everything is happening secretly, right? Now, let's just fast forward a couple of years. Imagine Alice wants to start her own business, okay? She wants to start her own business, build her own company, because she's tired of her 9-to-5 job. She's tired of working for somebody else, and she now wants to take her own destiny into her own hands. So she decides to build a business with her best friend, Rachel. On the surface, there's nothing wrong in starting a business with your friend, right? But if you've been listening, okay, if you've been following along, you'll know that Rachel has a history of being disloyal. She has a history of betraying other people. If she's willing to betray those who are close to her, if she's willing to betray the person, that individual that she's in a covenant relationship with, a husband, a long-term partner, then she's capable of doing that to anyone. So if Alex goes into doing business with her, it could come back to, as I said, bite her in the butt. Okay? It could turn out to be a problem. And that's the point I'm making. Just because they're your best friend doesn't mean that it's a good idea to go into business with them. Okay? And you have to be really honest with yourself. If you know that your friend has any history of being disloyal, unfaithful, betraying other people, lying to other people, you really shouldn't go into business with that person, even if they are your best friend. In my opinion, if you're going to start a business with someone, it might be best to choose a co-worker or a colleague or someone that you worked with in the past. You see, if you've worked with someone in a corporate setting, your relationship is already professional. Okay, so you already have a professional working relationship with that individual, and the two of you are used to treating each other as a professional. Working along someone in a professional setting does two things. First of all, it allows you to verify that they have a good work ethic and that they are loyal, dependable, trustworthy, and hardworking. Those are all traits that you would want in a business partner. Second, it allows you to really sort of decide whether this is the sort of person that you would want to work on a project with or go into business with. Alright? So starting a business with a friend, you can certainly do it, but it might be better to do it with a trusted co-worker or colleague or someone that you worked with in a professional setting already. Now, the third problem in starting a business with a friend is the fact that your relationship may never be the same ever again. Here's the hard fact. Most businesses fail. The vast majority of businesses will fail. And this is what makes entrepreneurship so risky. If you decided to set up a business with your friend, okay, most likely the two of you have high hopes and you might have invested a lot into getting the business off the ground. In some cases, you might have procured external funding. Now, if this business falls apart, if it fails, or if things don't turn out the way you expect, okay, it can be really, really demoralizing. And in some cases, you might even end up blaming each other, or one person might start blaming the other. Okay? If that happens, your relationship will be strained. It might not be quite the same ever again. On the other hand, if your business succeeds, which I hope it does, okay, if you're going to start a business, okay, I hope your business succeeds. Okay, let's get back into it. On the other hand, if your business succeeds and the two of you find yourself facing some form of conflict or disagreement, especially conflict that involves large sums of money, your relationship most likely will never be the same ever again. If you've never experienced, the two of you have never experienced handling that sort of conflict and there's money involved, your relationship may never be the same ever again. So that's something you need to be aware of. If you're thinking of starting a business with a friend, I really hope that you've made it up to this point, and I hope that this has been eye-opening, and you should be better informed on whether or not starting a business with your friend is really a good idea. You have to take this information and use your own discretion to come to a conclusion. So guys, if you found this useful, do consider subscribing and feel free to share this video with anybody else who might find it useful. Thank you very much.